I'm Mette, and I'm the editor of Bastard, and the founder of Bastard, and I'm also writing for Bastard. So I'm kind of behind the scene, mostly, you could say. I'm doing the funding and the administration and editing, and also some of the SoMe and all that stuff. And if I should say a little bit about Bastard, then we are this online magazine where we are working with performance art and choreography and cross-disciplinary art practices. So it's kind of a field where it's live art, but it isn't mainstream. It's kind of a niche, you could say, and there's not that much written about these art practices, and they are also often only showing for a short while and not getting that much attention. So, and I think it's very important to make these art practices and these art forms more visible. Also because I have the feeling that these art practices there are a lot of artists who work within these fields, and there are a lot to see and a lot to explore, and you could say that the mainstream art forms are very much influenced by these art practices and these ways of working with art. And there are also a lot of artists who get funding from Statens Kunstfond, and I think that they should have attention, of course. And you can say in this way, I feel myself that I am a bit political, because these art forms that don't get that much attention or visibility, I feel that it's important to cast some light on these practices and art pieces and artists. That's very important for me. And also that a lot of these artists work with subject matters that concerns feminism or anti-racial matters, and they're eco-critical, you could say. All these matters that are very important in our time right now. I don't know if I want Bastard to focus more on it, but I'm personally interested in this field of writing and choreography. I think we also have some text about it on Bastard written by Karin Hall, who's a new writer. She's made some quite interesting text about this field. I don't even think I can say why I'm interested in it, but it's something about the tactility, I think, or in general, I'm interested in writing and how text is material and text have a body. So that's maybe also why I'm interested in this field of text and choreography. It's something about tactility and small senses. And maybe I'm interested in it also according to my own fictional writing, where I'm interested in trying to write something against or trying to find ways or language which hasn't been taken by capitalism. And I think that intimacy sort of might be a way. I'm not sure, because you could say that it's also taken over, but yeah, there's something there, maybe. Like real intimacy, where two or several persons have a connection somehow, which is real. And well, then you can question, of course, what is real. But yeah. My goals with Bastard is to make attention around these art forms that are kind of cross-disciplinary and live art forms. And the goal is also that not only to kind of make these art forms more visible, but also to kind of make like a community around it. And that's also why we are trying to show performance artists. We last September, Lotte Løvholm, who's also one of our writers and also a curator, she curated a program of 3 performance pieces at Copenhagen Contemporary. And we are also working on, we will try to have funding for making a program with choreography works and some talks, and maybe also show some choreography movies at Copenhagen Contemporary in 2023. And we have also had some talks, and we are having a launch of a podcast here in April, where we will have a kind of arrangement at Det Lille Rum, where we are also working. And another goal is, of course, to have more readers and to be able to share all these interesting artworks and to have discussions around these art forms, and also maybe to discuss or talk about or communicate about how can we write or communicate around these art forms, because an important thing about Bastard is also that there is a room and a space for trying to experiment with how we write about these art forms. It's not necessary to experiment, but it's a possibility, which I also think is quite important. And then another goal is to, my dream is that it will be like an inter-Scandinavian project in the future. We have already have funding from a Nordic fund, Nordisk Kulturfond, in order to be able to publish some articles from writers from Sweden and Norway. So my dream is that in the future there might be a Bastard in Sweden and in Norway, just a small one. And of course we have our inspiration is from the art magazine called Kunstkritik. So that's a big dream. Yeah.